What's going on, everybody? What is up, everybody? What is good out there on radio and internet and sports and in life? A-League Show, episode 73. It feels like yesterday we were just doing our first show. Now all of a sudden we had 73 in the 70s. What you doing up to, David?
Not much. Time flies. Like, I was just looking at the calendar and I realized like the Dogwood Festival is this weekend, and then they just had GSU spring game last week. And I remember just a year.
Oh yeah, that's right. The spring game was last week.
Yeah, I remember last year it was me and Rashad was at the GSU spring game last year, and it was like right after a show, and it's just it's crazy.
And this is the first spring game that they've had at the new stadium, if I remember correctly. Or is it the second?
Yeah, it's the first one because last year they was at Grady.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they was just doing the transition from they was doing the transition out of the Georgia Dome into the new stadium. I wonder what that was. What that had to be like doing the first spring game at the at the new stadium.
Yeah, I wish I went last year to spring game, and it's just like I don't know. I really think I missed much. I should have read up more on them. Just to see like what they're looking at. Because I think was it Manning? He's a senior, right?
I believe so. Is he either a senior or is he graduated? Because I know he was their quarterback last year.
Yeah, because I saw like when I was driving downtown, I saw a billboard. They're already hyping GSU versus Kennesaw State.
What?
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go to that.
Are you really?
Well,
yeah.
I think that they're just hyping up that primarily because it's one of those things where lots of state fans, they're really trying to get them to like play in-state, teams that could potentially be in-state rivals. Like Georgia State fans, of course, we play Southern all the time. They want them to play Kennesaw State. They want them to play UGA. They want them to play Tech. So I think that's really one of the things that's just going on there.
I mean, I would like to see them play Georgia in a G-Day game. I don't really like the inter-squad scrimmages. I think they're pointless. But if you bring in a team that is local, but not really on your competition level yet, I think that would be cool to see, have a scrimmage against Georgia State. I mean, of course, they probably would sit their like main players out, but that would be fun and attractive to, hype G-Day up a little more.
Mm-hmm. True.
Do they do that in college? No, high school.
They can do it in high school now, but I think that's the next step in college as far as, spring games. I think high school is kind of testing it out for the college rank, so I would like to see that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But yeah, imagine the politics and stuff. Someone don't want their five-star guys.
Of course. And then you got money exchanging hands between the two schools.
Why would you allow them to? If you're worried about injuries, why would you let your own team go out and bang on each other for a couple hours in a game? Like, if I would rather there's a less chance of injury if you're letting them bang heads with someone else who isn't in their color uniform, because instead of 22 guys on the field at a time, you have 11 guys on the field at a time that have the same color on. So that's less, you're less likely to have injuries at that point. So.
Mm-hmm. Somewhat. I mean, it's an interesting debate, but like David was saying, there's just there is absolutely a lot of politics and everything involved, but it's one of those things that is of course conversation fodder for the for the off season, and it's probably going to be something to follow for the next 4 months leading up to the college football season. I just wanted to get this in before I mentioned NBA playoffs, because there's a lot that went on this week. I just wanted to mention this. Shout out to Low Princess, everybody that was up in New York for the WNBA draft. That draft looked much better this year on television than it did last year, because I know they had it at the Samsung building in New York City last year. This year they had it at the Nike headquarters, and I watched it all on ESPN2 and ESPNU. It was much better presented. I still don't like the fact that they had it in a more enclosed location, more so than perhaps the Prudential Center or Nassau Coliseum, but it looked much better on TV than the previous year, I had to say. So I got to give them props for that at least.
I've never watched the WNBA draft, but is it similar to the NBA draft in terms of like?
It's somewhat similar to the to the NBA draft. I mean, it's still one of those things where lots of stuff could happen. I mean, players could get traded. They have the presentations where they have the how should I put it? The introduction with the jerseys and everything, jerseys taken with the pictures taken with the president of the WNBA. So it is similar in that sense. it is, definitely similar in that sense. But I know last year they didn't even have that because it was in such a small location. They just had President Borders just presenting the picks, and it wasn't even just her presenting some of the picks. They even had Dawn Staley, who's the coach at South Carolina, presenting some of the picks.
It was like the second round NBA draft.
Something like that. I guess you could somewhat say that.
The last day of the NFL draft.
The last day somewhat of the NFL draft, I guess.
Hey, that's messed up.
That is messed up. How do you expect your league to be considered as one of the serious leagues if you don't even take the draft seriously?
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's what they was doing last year, and that's what one of those things that was a huge topic of conversation last year, given the location of the draft. Because I felt like they were so, they wanted to have it in New York. I could understand that, but if they're gonna have it in a small, location, then yeah, I understand exactly why they would have it at Nike headquarters. But I still feel like that they should do more because it used to be at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. Yeah. Then they moved it to New York. So, if they're gonna have it at these small locations, then yeah, it was better presented, I believe, this year. But I still think they should probably do more to, to at least see if they can, get one more of those some of those larger venues that could accommodate more more fans and more media for sure. But
NFL, they need to copy the NFL's model. The NFL
moving the draft around.
They do the draft right. I
think they've done the draft right because they turned the draft into just as big an event as opening day in Major League Baseball.
Yes, that's what's kind of helped the NFL survive some of these bad off seasons we've had the last few years.
With the Kaepernick backlash and the CTE awareness.
Like that has really kind of saved the interest level of the sport because it's so, it's so unpredictable, and then you have the presentation of it is great, and then it's a big event now. It's not just a guy calling in. And it used to be where the commissioner would stand up there and call out the picks, and they would go on. It was really boring.
Do you feel like that'll happen eventually in the NBA, where they may think about moving the draft around like the NFL? Because I think it would be interesting, because it could get kind of monotonous, every year at the NBA draft, and you're just waiting for the Knicks fans to pretty much boo every single pick because it's not the top pick.
I don't think the NBA will do that. I think the NBA is probably going to try to avoid copying the NFL's model.
But you just said the NFL's model works.
I know.
If the NFL's model works, why shouldn't they do it?
But the NBA is trying to stand on its own. Like, the NBA already has the personalities to hold its product up.
True.
The NFL doesn't allow personality, so
you're right.
They have to stand on something. So,
and plus everybody wears helmets, and plus the fact that the NFL draft is just so long, it's multiple. It's like 7 rounds, whereas the NBA draft is only 2.
Yeah.
And plus, we already know a lot of these players coming out of college. You can watch the NFL draft, you don't even know who some of these dudes are.
And the lottery, no disrespect to anyone, but the lottery is really all that matters in the NBA draft, because like the second round is a waste of time because none of those guys ever play in the NBA.
Well, speaking of the lottery and the draft, what was this stuff that was going on with this tiebreaker stuff that was going? I didn't understand that.
I didn't either.
I mean, I don't understand the process and like how they figured out who gets the pick, but basically, from my understanding, it was several teams that had the same record, and they decided who got the pick, the higher pick between those teams, because it was like Atlanta, Dallas, Milwaukee, San Antonio, and I'm trying to remember the other ones. Milwaukee, Miami, I believe, and they figured them out, but I haven't. It was on NBA TV. I don't have NBA TV, but they figured it out.
What, did they have, a rock paper scissors contest?
I'm not sure. Like, I wish I would have looked up on YouTube or something yesterday, because I know that I just know like this year they're making a big deal about it, because as you can see, it's like with Milwaukee situation, it's like amazing, just the fact they traded their first round pick for Eric Bledsoe this year, but they had protections on it where it was like, I think it was 1 through 3 and 17 through 30, and their pick fell to 17 instead of 16, and so Phoenix has 2 first-round picks instead of 3 now, and Milwaukee keeps their pick until next year.
Oh, wow.
Is anybody seeing this right now? Because we just went on camera. Is anybody seeing this? Because Rashad just made his grand entrance. Is anybody seeing this?
Oh, big baller brand.
Is anybody seeing this right now? What video you got to shoot later on today?
It's time for the playoffs.
I mean, I know we in the Atlanta area. Everybody's shooting music videos. Everybody's filming. Of course, Black Panther was filmed here. Everybody's filming stuff here. What you got planned?
No, you just got the playoffs going on. You know what I'm saying? Playoffs.
Return
Playoffs.
of the man.
Are y'all ready to talk about the playoffs?
We're talking about
Did y'all already talk about the
playoffs.
playoffs?
No, we didn't.
Does anybody have a bracket out? I have my phone on the charger.
With all the different teams and all the different matchups. I know Houston's playing Minnesota. Yeah.
I got Minnesota taking that to 6 games, at least 6.
I
won't be surprised if it goes to 7. And a lot of people were like, including DJ Dunson, shout out to DJ, was like, there's no way that this doesn't get past the sweep. And I'm like, no, man, because, excuse me, if you know something about Jeff Teague,
which we all know a lot of stuff about Jeff Teague watching Hawks games.
In the playoffs, unless LeBron James is on the other team, is another Jeff Teague. Oh. And then he's averaged 20.3 points and 7 assists in the month of April. So let's just throw that out there. And he always plays well against Chris Paul, 2 former Wake Forest guys. That's another thing that a lot of people don't recognize.
So basically, he's the big Papi Ortiz of the NBA.
He's the X factor of that series because you expect Jimmy Butler to get his, you expect Cat to get his, Andrew Wiggins might get his, but Jeff Teague, those point guards, Teague and Rose, those are the really X factors for that series, in my opinion.
I mean, I'll just say with this, watching Tom Thibodeau teams in the playoffs, they look good on paper. You know, they got the reputation, but they always run out of gas. Like I've seen that with healthy Rose, and without healthy Rose, when they had Nate Robinson run that point guard. And
hey, Nate held it down, man.
And they run out of gas, dude. Yeah. It's just like it looks like when Thibodeau was hired, everybody was like, oh, they got a coach, they got these pieces. But I'm like, they're gonna run out of gas. Like Teague had knee problems.
Yeah, Teague played 42 minutes that last game, I believe.
Yeah, Butler had knee problems. And it's just, you having players complaining about the minutes throughout the season. Taj Gibson, Jeff Teague, they all talking about it, and it's just like you're going against one of the fastest teams in the NBA.
So what you got?
I got Houston, and I'd say Houston in 6, but it's not going to be. It's just I don't think Houston has no chance. I don't think Minnesota has a chance of beating them. It's just.
I think if anything, Minnesota has a chance of pushing it to 7.
I will say that. I will definitely say that because sometimes we can get, so caught up in the idea of a 1 versus 8 matchup and think, oh wow, this is gonna end in 5, this is gonna end in 6, this could very well be a sweep. But we gotta remember, the Western Conference was a logjam this year. I mean, 3, if I remember correctly, 3 or 4 through 8 or 4 through 9 or 3 through 10, there was separated by only about 3-4 games. So a lot of those teams that are below the Houston and the Golden State, a lot of those teams have similar records, and you can very well say a lot of those teams are evenly matched in a sense. But it's just the nature of the Western Conference.
So what you got? What you got, Keem?
I got Houston in 6. Houston possibly in 7, but definitely 6. Okay. I think that Houston, Minnesota has a chance of being a longer series than Golden State, San Antonio, and I think that could be one of those things that could help Golden State because, in my opinion, I feel like the Western Conference Finals is pretty much set. I think we feel like it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be Rockets Warriors, and I feel like that if it ends up being a series where, it goes to 6 or it goes to 7 and Golden State, San Antonio only goes 5 because, of course, this is not anywhere near as good a San Antonio team as we've seen in previous years because of the Kawhi stuff and everything, then I think that could help, that could potentially help Golden State as we get closer to the conference finals.
Okay. I thought, earlier this week I posted that it would be the Rockets would sweep them, but listening to all what you guys have said, and then I talked to my cousin yesterday. Shout out to Roman. You got me thinking about this a little more.
Yeah, Roman got the knowledge.
He got some knowledge. we need to bring Roman. I'm gonna bring him with me one week. But
oh yeah,
I feel like I'm with David. I don't trust Thibodeau's teams as far as being able to last in the playoffs, and if they're counting on Jeff Teague having a good series, they're already in trouble. I like Jeff Teague.
Why are you throwing shade on Teague like that?
You're not going to beat him at the wings.
No, you're not.
You know what I'm saying?
If you count on Jeff Teague to beat Chris Paul, though, you're gonna be in trouble for a long time, and it's going to be quick. But I will say this, but the fact that the T-Wolves have Cat and they have Andrew Wiggins, who this kind of has to be his coming out party as far as like, you know, being a legitimate player in this league. Because he averages 20-some points per game, but, you know, I just don't get the sense that, like, people take him as, oh, he could be a superstar. He's just kind of a guy that scores a lot of points and nobody really cares about. So,
I mean, I feel like that Minnesota, they just got a bad matchup. I mean, Minnesota is a team that could, in my opinion, could easily. They look like a caliber team that could advance to the second round or maybe to the conference finals. They just got a bad matchup.
Yeah, and that's. And I
like if they were playing OKC,
I don't think it's a
them.
bad matchup. I think they match up well with the Rockets because they slow the pace down. They're going to play defense, and the Rockets don't like to be hit. So they're going to do that. But they've played so many minutes this year, I don't see how they're going to be able to muster up the energy to, if they go down 2-0, to fight back and try to go 2-0. If they go down 3-1, they're not fighting back. Like, there's no coming back from that because they're so tired. And
plus against a team in Houston that looks like a championship team.
Right. I mean, I can see Houston kind of be coming in and thinking, you know, well, they're going to just lay down. And I really feel like Minnesota shouldn't have had to use that much energy to make the playoffs. Like, that shouldn't have come down to their last game of the year.
But you got James Harden and Chris Paul that are hungry. I mean, so much of their careers, people have dogged them for the fact that they haven't won the big one. So I feel they're hungry.
They've had that since they were young players. And they're older players now, and they still haven't done anything in the playoffs. I don't think that's something that just changes because you're hungry. That's something that is bred into you. Like, that's something that you're just born with. Like, LeBron learned it because LeBron has always been this type of guy to be able to do it at the end. That's why people were confused. Now, some players just can't do that. Now, I'm not going to ask Lance Stevenson to beat me in the playoffs. Because of course he can't do that.
Right, Lance Stevenson can't do that.
It's not in his DNA. Maybe that's just who James Harden and Chris Paul are. But having them together,
right,
that may be different.
Exactly.
Two dudes that can't win, maybe they may put it together.
It worked for the Celtics in 08.
Right. The Celtics, they changed. So what you got, Jeremy?
I said Houston in 4, but I'm going to go Houston in 5.
All right, next series, OKC, Utah. OKC has home court. They're the 4th seed.
I'm actually very excited for that series because Utah's well coached and other guys are playing very well, and it's just it's one of those things where it's like talent kind of exceeds system, and it's just I had to take Oklahoma City in 6.
I think Utah won last year against the Clippers in 7, right? On the road.
Yeah. It was,
so
Joe Johnson went off.
They had Joe Johnson. Yeah, and he was hitting
and
game winners.
Yeah,
exactly. He had a flashback. I got OKC in 7. I think Utah's a great, like David said, a great coach team, a great team. Mitchell's gonna continue doing his thing. Gobert, Joe Ingles. Shout out Joe Ingles. I mean, they got a decent squad. I think, they're going to put up a fight. But, OKC, at the end of the day, talent,
experience.
Who wants some more? Game 7, Westbrook. Westbrook can either throw the game away in Game 7 or he could save the day. I mean,
Westbrook ain't throwing the game away.
We've seen it both ways.
He threw away that 3-1 lead.
We've seen it both ways. So
he the reason why Durant left to go to Golden State.
But ever since then, Westbrook has had a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, ever since, but he hasn't changed the way he plays. Westbrook is a stubborn guy, and he shoot you out of game and shoot you out of series. That's what he did with Golden State when they had that 3-1 lead, and that's why Kevin Durant is now a member of the Golden State Warriors.
That Houston series too. He just
So you can't win with them cats. You can't win with them cats. But yeah, I got OKC in 7.
I'm going the same. I'm going the same exact way. I think that, like you said, talent and experience, I think, are going to eventually be the difference in this series. And I got Oklahoma actually in 6.
Yeah, I got OKC in 6. I think this is going to be the most entertaining series of the first round because style versus super talented teams. That's just always fun to watch. I mean, some of the Hawk series where they have played teams that are just more talented than them, those have been some of the best series, like the Celtics. This is kind of what that's kind of the equivalent to this matchup. So
Man, if Utah was a college team, they'll win the championship. But
Yeah.
there's some reason.
University of Utah.
They're still missing their star piece.
Wait, Jeremy, what's your I didn't hear your.
Oh,
exact
I got
prediction.
OKC and
OKC
6.
6. Okay, you said that.
What's the next one? What we got?
No, David got to get.
Oh, he said in 7. He got OKC in 7.
Okay, see,
Yeah.
6.
Okay,
Mm.
6.
Oh.
All right, Portland. This is the NBA TV matchup. Portland and the Pelicans.
Poor New Orleans Pelicans. Anthony Davis getting shoved to NBA TV.
I got Portland. Portland in 5.
You know what though? This one's gonna be that series that is gonna be a back and forth between Anthony Davis and Damian Lillard just going off and having big games. But
Right.
I got Portland. I think I said 4.
I think it's one of those things they had to put some matchup because you just can't have every game on ESPN and TNT. But yeah, I'm probably leaving the same exact way. Give me Portland in 5.
I mean, it's an interesting matchup. I mean, like you got playoff Rondo going against
True. That's
Playoff
true.
Rondo.
That's a good point.
against Damian Lillard. You got nobody on Portland that can stop Anthony Davis, and then you have Nurkic. You have
think there's anyone in
You
the,
don't believe in Zach Collins?
I don't think there's anyone in the NBA that can stop man.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe DeMarcus Cousins, but you know.
They play on the
Right,
same
they
team.
play on the same exact team.
I think it goes. I want to say New Orleans in 7.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa,
Oh, wow.
Look out. You going with the
Upset.
Pelicans? Look out.
All right. So next series, Golden State, San Antonio. I got Golden State in 5. No, I can't do that to Pop.
Yeah, I can't.
You always gotta
No,
respect.
no, no,
always
no,
gotta
no, no.
respect
No,
Pop.
say
yes,
6.
yes, you can this
Golden
year because
State
they don't have the
to
talent
6.
this year.
You gotta
Golden
give Pop
State in
two.
5.
Golden State in 6.
I got Golden State in 6.
Golden
Just-
State in
No
5.
Curry. No Curry. They
Yeah,
said
there's gonna
sometime
be-
in the second round.
There's
you
gonna
know
be
what
no
I'm saying?
Curry, and there's gonna be people have slept on how good of a season LaMarcus Aldridge has had.
Yeah. Because
He's
he was
really
so
had
bad
a great,
last
He's
year.
had a great year, and I think he's gonna redeem himself, and they're gonna win at least 2 of these games. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kawhi Leonard sneaks into a game or 2.
I think.
Oh, here we go.
He
Here we go.
protecting that money.
I think he's done.
He protecting that money.
You think he's leaving San Antonio?
We're gonna be on Kawhi Leonard watch like we were with Derrick Rose a couple years ago. Just watch. He gonna warm up before one of these games, and everybody gonna go crazy.
How do you guys
wow.
think he's gonna do like next year?
Depends on what team he's on.
I mean,
Right.
I think it's gonna take him like a month to get adjusted to the game
Yeah,
after sitting out.
and then not playing in the Spurs system, like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. And not playing not only the Spurs system, but also with that Spurs culture.
Yo,
because that's a culture
I
they
think-
built.
I think
I,
he's
I have a conspiracy. What if Kawhi goes to Phoenix with Coach Bud and they draft Ayton? So they have Booker, Kawhi Leonard, and DeAndre Ayton.
I couldn't see San Antonio getting Kawhi without getting a haul from Phoenix. Like they're gonna have to,
Right.
They're gonna have to get that.
I mean, they send them Josh Jackson. That basically replaces Kawhi Leonard. That's an even trade in my book. For somebody that's gonna leave anyway.
Yeah, it's just the thing with that is just like being wary of trading for him because the LA rumors, his LA ties are well known and stuff. And it's just
Man, they like I said, man. Every NBA superstar they're gonna throw in New York, LA. and
I don't think
Boston.
anyone's actually
Or
going
Miami.
to LA. I don't see any. I mean, LA's going to be a decent team, whether or not a star goes there.
Where
Anyway.
y'all think LeBron going? Philly?
I think Philly actually could be a reality now. I really do.
I think you go to Houston.
Yeah, I think he goes. If he's leaving, it's for Houston. I have a hard time seeing him going to Philadelphia.
So another big 3, just like in Miami.
Yeah, I just think for one, he's probably the most sensitive superstar of all time, and just like hearing people say he's scared of the West, he's gonna probably I'm gonna show y'all I can win the West.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just like I gotta play Golden State anyways.
Right.
And so it's just because he's beaten San Antonio in the playoffs before. And he don't have to play Dallas anymore, so it's just like he's got to play Golden State regardless. Like, is he scared? No, he can beat Portland. He can beat New Orleans. He can beat
Minnesota.
He can beat Minnesota. So like, what's so bad about the Big Bad West?
And he's already beat OKC in the past, so you
It
don't
ain't
have to
no
worry
big
about
bad
that.
West when you got James Harden and Chris Paul as your teammates.
I mean,
They're already the best team in the Western
Will
Conference.
Chris Paul be there next year?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think this year went way too well.
I think he will.
Yeah.
Just,
Who's not to say if they win the championship this year, Chris Paul just retires?
If they win the championship. If they don't win the championship, of course he's coming back.
He got 200 million reasons to stay.
And he does.
True.
But, you know, I don't know. That's the one thing he's really missing from his career is a ring. If he gets a ring, he goes down as a top 10 point guard of all time.
Right?
True.
That payday though, it's just like.
I mean, Chris Paul got money, man. Like he
State Farm.
It's all about what's more.
They
Yeah, he's
still
got
playing
endorsements.
State Farm every NBA day.
Oh my gosh.
he's not hurting for money.
Because him and LeBron, they fought for the over 38 rule, because it was a rule that it was in the last CBA where you couldn't get a max contract after past the age of 36. And him and LeBron pushed for 38, and coincidentally, LeBron hasn't signed a 5-year max deal. Chris Paul hasn't signed a max deal. Like, he opted in and got a trade, and now they on his bird rights, and now he can be eligible to sign that 5-year max for over $200 million.
Oh, that's a great point.
So I got 6. Golden State at 6. You got Golden State at 6. You got Golden State at 5.
I go to State 5.
Golden State at 5. All right, we moving on to the East now. Toronto, Washington.
Quick sidebar.
Yeah.
NBA Twitter this past summer was just like, the East is gonna be so awful that even the AAU team's gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah,
We're gonna,
I mean,
NBA Twitter is always like that.
Yeah. Washington got like what, 42 at least? They got at least 42.
They're in the 40s. They have a winning record.
40s, exactly.
I was like, since when is Jimmy Butler and Paul George and Paul Millsap were like Michael Jordan's leaving the NBA? Because I was like,
everyone panicked.
Yeah, everything is magnified on NBA Twitter. Really,
everybody was clowning Paul George on Mother's Day.
No. Another thing I want to say is the Victor Oladipo been balling.
Yeah,
people
in
been
Orlando,
sleeping on him for real.
He literally had the same statistics in Orlando. So if Victor Oladipo gets the most improved, that's flawed.
Yeah, that was.
He literally puts up the same statistics in Orlando.
Yeah, they tried to make it seem like he was never a good player.
Him and Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris has always been good. He was good in Orlando.
Of course.
It's like both of these good dudes were good in Orlando. And it's going to be the same thing when Vucevic goes to another team in 2 years.
Yeah.
And he puts up the same numbers he's putting up now. And people are going, Vucevic. No, he's always been that good. We just don't watch Orlando.
Right. Orlando's not in the spotlight the way some of these other teams are. But then again, much of the East isn't outside of Cleveland and Philly.
The only reason he struggled last year is because him and Westbrook are the same player. Yeah. That's what people fail to realize. Everybody just can't just play together just because they're good at basketball.
Right, exactly.
It don't work that way.
It doesn't connect well. If that was the case, then how come Oklahoma doesn't look like the same team that they once were?
Exactly.
OKC should be number 1 seed. There's no excuse for them.
You would think with all the talent they got, but
you would think
none of those players fit together.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype with them too. Yeah.
Minnesota should have been top 5 too.
Miami, when they had LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, should have won multiple championships. Well, they did win multiple championships, but they should have won more than what they got.
Well, I'll admit,
they should have went 4 for 4.
Thank you.
But I'll admit, I was wrong about Indiana and Utah. I thought they was gonna be trash this year. I was like, man, they lost their guys. I didn't realize Nate McMillan. I followed him back when he was in Portland. His style I did not think would fit today's NBA, but he's adapted really well. He used to run the whole super slow offense, and Brandon Roy just give Brandon Roy the ball and then dribble, shoot. And it's are they gonna stay healthy? And it's always something used to always happen with Portland. They always used to get hurt, and then they would never do nothing. But now he runs a modern offense.
Seattle had a nice little exciting team.
Yeah, they were nice. Can't remember their coach, but I remember Brent Beard, Rashad, and
Rashard Lewis, Ray Allen. Remember, they had Collison and them dudes.
Nate McMillan wasn't with them for a year.
I think Nate McMillan was with them because didn't he coach Seattle before he eventually would coach Portland?
That's what I'm thinking.
I can't remember the coach. I just remember staying up real late when them and Phoenix used to play. Used to go to triple overtime games.
Oh, those used to be, man.
Phoenix.
I love those.
Went to overtime.
Those were really entertaining.
Never could stay up to watch them.
I was like, man, it was like every time they play, like they finna score like 150 or something.
Hashtag bring them back.
I remember when T-Mac scored 13 in 35 seconds or whatever it
That was crazy, man.
Yeah.
And I had to see it like the next morning on sports, and I'm like, dude, everything happens on the West.
Yeah.
Like right when you go to sleep in elementary school. Yeah, I was probably like middle school.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, elementary school.
I was in
Oh man.
Yeah, I was in elementary when that happened.
Dang, Jordan was still playing when I was in elementary school.
Me too. Jordan was in his last year. I was like in the 5th grade. He was like his last year with Washington.
Jordan was still winning championships with the Bulls when I was. I remember watching them games.
I had Wizards Jordan when I was in elementary.
Oh man.
Oh, you didn't get. So you got the bootleg Jordan. That's what you got. You got the bootleg Jordan.
You missed it, man.
I had a Wizards jersey and everything.
Yeah, I had Xbox, and I had an Xbox when Jordan was on the Wizards.
Yeah.
And they had the I can't remember the name of the NBA game. It wasn't 2K, and it wasn't
Maybe live.
It wasn't live.
It wasn't live.
It was,
It was like NBA 2002 or something like that.
Inside Drive. I think it's Inside Drive.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. The slow paced ball. Everybody looking out shiny.
Right.
Man, let's do the East, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Toronto, Washington. DeMar
cares?
DeRozan is a hooper. I think just because John Wall is so competitive, I'm gonna give this series 5 games.
Yeah.
So
That's
I got
what
Toronto
I
in 5.
said. Well, I got Toronto in 5 too. There's no other reason than because John Wall is a monster.
John
Agreed.
Wall is
Toronto
a game
in
winner.
6.
Yeah, Toronto in 5. 2 teams I'm tired of.
Yeah.
I was talking about
They
they don't get respected and stuff. You know, like,
One of
they
those
don't
two
do
teams
nothing
that are
in the
right
playoffs.
just below Cleveland, but they got to beat Cleveland in order to get the level of respect that they got.
They're
that they
boring. They're
want.
boring teams to watch. I don't know that I will watch any of these games of this series. I'm not going to commit to watching.
I'm definitely watching one of them because I just love.
I watched the
I love
first
the
one.
first round.
I watched the first one.
The first round
because the first day is the
weekend.
best day.
Oh, just so y'all know, we recorded this before the first game. Just so y'all know.
Yeah, just
All
for
right,
reference.
Right.
So what you got?
Because this will air all week.
I got Toronto in 5.
Toronto on 5.
But,
you
you know,
said 5.
6.
You said
I said-
6.
I said 5.
5.
I wish it was 4. I really did.
I do too. But I know John Wall just gonna go crazy and start throwing up gang signs.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And he gonna
No.
win one of them.
You know who the most boring team in the playoffs to watch is? Not Toronto.
Cleveland.
It's Milwaukee.
Oh yeah.
Milwaukee
Cleveland's
is so
really boring,
boring to watch
Milwaukee?
in the playoffs. Yes.
Yeah, they ain't got no coach
Milwaukee
either.
is so boring. So Milwaukee, Boston. I got Milwaukee winning.
Unfortunately.
I
I got them winning in 6.
got Boston in 6.
I got Milwaukee in 6. I wanna say 5, but I'm gonna give Boston 2 at home just because Milwaukee's young.
This is a good one. This is a good one. Give me Boston in 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Give me Boston in 7.
I just think.
You think Giannis is gonna lose in the game 7? Yeah, I mean, even though it's
To
on the
who?
road.
Like who does Boston have left to play?
You got
Al Horford.
Rozier, Tatum.
No, that's the craziest part. I was watching the Celtics the other week, and they were like, Terry Rozier is gonna have to step up for Boston now, and I was like, wasn't this supposed to be a big 3 that you guys made such a big deal about? Isn't one of these guys getting $100 million?
Right. I know they made a big
this
deal
one.
about.
He was a
they made a
star.
big deal about Rozier because Rozier was. I remember Rozier was on Boston when R.J. Hunter first got on Boston.
I mean, Rozier's a decent player.
Yes, but I mean, when
We
you're
talking
paying
about Al
someone
Horford, though.
$100 million,
And you got
and
you,
he's supposed to be the all-star.
and you got Terry Rozier is the guy you're leaning
Come
on.
on, man.
Terry
That's
Rozier
pathetic.
and
Get out of here, man.
mean-
And Jason Tatum. Terry Rozier and a rookie, that's who you depending on. And you
And
got
Al
a man
Horford
making
making
$100 million.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
And he made the
ago.
All-Star game ahead of Ben Simmons.
That's ridiculous.
He do what he's supposed to do.
Man, get out of
veteran,
here.
veteran,
Yeah,
man.
he gonna-
He's the guy for that
Next
Hawks
series.
clout.
Next
He
series.
gonna do what he's supposed
Next
to do.
series.
He gonna
do-
Cleveland, Indiana. We ain't talking about that coward no more.
Oh, man.
Oh
I
wow!
got
That
Cleveland
was still
and
sour, man.
I got Cleveland and 5.
I got Cleveland in 3.5.
Cleveland 4.
I think Indiana get a game.
Cleveland 4.
Get a game at home.
They ain't gonna get nothing at home.
Nah.
I say game
Nah.
3.
They're gonna get blown out so much. Cleveland gonna be able to take the leftover points and beat them in one of those other games. So they ain't gonna have to play the last game.
Like
Man,
they
I'm
did
with
with
you.
the Hawks when
I'm
they
with
beat them
you.
by like
Exactly.
30.
They gonna beat
Right.
them
And
by
then like they automatically won game 4 because they
Yeah.
beat them by 30 in game 3.
Yeah. Bye bye Indiana. Bye bye Indiana.
And I hope you enjoyed the ride, Victor Oladipo. It was great to watch.
But
Yeah.
you got a sweep.
Yeah, I got Cleveland 4.
All right.
Sweep.
So sweep. I got them in 5.
I got a semi-sweep, 3.5. Remember that. 3.5.
Sixers Heat. I got Philly and I don't know. Miami's kind of another boring team to watch.
But they one of those teams that you look up and the series
they got talent.
and the season and the series has been so ugly and boring.
Yeah.
But then you look up there in Game 7.
And then this is Philly's first time.
Yeah, I got.
And then you talking about no Embiid into the middle of the series. Then Embiid got to get used to playing with that mask.
Then Whiteside.
Sark is out. Sark got hurt in Atlanta.
And then Whiteside.
Yeah, Whiteside.
Whiteside.
He will eat whoever they have for lunch.
They don't play Whiteside that much anymore. Like, he got mad about it.
Just because, I mean, even if he doesn't play, if you get me 25 minutes of Whiteside versus Amir Johnson, I'm taking that. I'm taking Whiteside.
Right.
And I'm running to the bank.
You right?
Yeah, Spo. I got Heat in 7. Yeah, just Spo. Spo's the better coach.
Yep.
And Spo, like, you know, they can play big and they can play small. And this dude can coach a broom because the guys that Mickey Harrison and Pat Riley bring out, he do something with them. He did something with James Johnson. He got something with Kelly Olynyk. He got something with
Deion Waiters.
Yeah, James
Richardson. Johnson. Like these guys were castaways, and he's turned them into legitimate players.
Yeah.
All of them. Like, they're all legitimate players right now. And then you got Dwayne Wade, who can steal you one out of nowhere.
Right.
Horford's a nice person. I just don't like him. I got Philly in 6.
Whoa, this is a
No.
pickup.
Hold on. Game 6 will be in Miami, so I got them winning in 7. Because I think they're gonna win the series at home. I don't think they can win it on the road.
I got a feeling this series, I think, is definitely going 7. I think it's definitely going 7. But, you know, I know that everybody's fallen in love with Philly because of, you know, Embiid and Ben Simmons and the process and all the LeBron stuff.
Philly the city, man.
Yeah, Philly the city. They're feeling themselves in Philly because the Eagles and Villanova
is getting out on Monday.
Exactly. We got to talk about that eventually.
You said what?
Meek is getting out on Monday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. It's, you know, it's just one of those things that, you know, is lots of energy and excitement in Philly, but oh man, I gotta go Miami in 7.
You know what? I forgot about Meek getting out on Monday. They might just sweep him.
You were right the first time.
Man, Philly been taking so many W's, man.
Right, exactly.
Philly been winning all this year. This is the year of Philly, 2018.
I got Philly in 7, but I think it's gonna be real close. I really think like the last game is gonna be like one of those 95 to 89 last
Ben Simmons is gonna foul out in Game 7. I'll say that right now.
Joel Embiid gonna come to the save the day, or JJ Redick gonna get hot. I mean, it's gonna be a really close series.
You know the games I'm surprised by? The games when like Joel Embiid's going like 40 plus minutes and he looks drained at like minute 35.
Yeah.
But he still finishes the game. Like those games amaze me because I expect him to get hurt or like just roll over.
Or
take a nap.
He's that fragile.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he's a big dude, so like the way he moves, it just makes me nervous.
That's why I don't want a big man with the number 1 pick.
Yeah. Curious to see like at Brett Brown and Spoelstra going at it on the clipboard. I know they're gonna try to coach the hell out of each other. Right?
Yeah. If it comes to a coaching matchup, definitely Spo's gonna outcoach him.
Yeah. That's honestly, Spoelstra is the only reason this team is still. That's why I get. You know, when they had LeBron and, you know, Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and they were winning championships, I really felt like Spoelstra was their weak point. But when they got rid of all those guys, Miami didn't lose that much of wins, if you really think about it. They were winning maybe 53, 54 games a year. They're at 47, 48 right now. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
with an aged Dwayne Wade.
without the best player on the planet and
Right.
Chris Bosh. Like, that's, like, you can't put that on anything else but coaching.
Did they make the playoffs last year?
Yeah.
Who they play?
They played. I'm gonna double check that. They made the playoffs last
I
year.
don't think they did.
They were a 6.
Yeah, they missed. Yeah, they were because they were like the
Oh yeah, they got
worst
tied with
team.
Chicago. I think they got tied with Chicago.
They were like the worst team, and then they like went
Yeah,
on
I
like
think
they were the hottest team in the second half
they
of
didn't
the
make-
season.
they didn't
but
quite
they
make the
barely
playoffs.
made it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they barely.
So they were
missed
just
it.
on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things where you think about coaching, you when you're a team that has LeBron and Wade and Bosh, it is very easy to just dismiss the coach because let's be honest. People think, oh, you could probably coach a team that has LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, but it's not that easy because you have to contend with all those egos. That's what Phil Jackson had to deal with all those years in Chicago and in LA. But the fact that they are where they are now, it's really a testament to what they've, the fact that they've been able to just stay the course in just that sense.
Can we slander Blake Griffin? Blake Griffin, he kind of laid down under the radar because he went to Detroit and he's out of the spotlight in LA. Blake Griffin missed the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. I feel like as a superstar or a
Soft.
star,
That's Detroit, though.
I think we should give him a little more. He should be a little more
soft.
Detroit.
Well, there you have it.
I mean, I'll just say with that, Stan Van Gundy needs to lose his.
No, don't put it on Stan Van Gundy. No,
Yeah.
Blake Griffin is soft. It's his fault.
It's
Soft.
I'll just,
S-O-F capital T. Soft.
I'll just
Soft.
I'll just say that, like, looking at the stuff, like the picks, you got Stanley Johnson in the lottery. You got Luke Kennard.
Trash.
Passed up on Donovan Mitchell. Passed up on Devin Booker. Just to have a history of.
You got Avery Bradley.
Avery Bradley was on the Clippers.
Yeah, they traded him for Blake Griffin.
He got traded twice this year. See, well, that shows you who I haven't been watching this year.
I mean, when they
Who's watching Detroit outside of Michigan?
when they traded for Blake Griffin, I don't know why they thought that was going to help them make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Andre Drummond is literally the same player.
Yeah, it's just a weird. I didn't understand. It just looked like desperate.
It was desperate. It really was.
Because you have Reggie Jackson who wears a suit more than his jersey. Then you have Stanley Johnson. You don't know what you're gonna do with him. And
the white boy, Luke Kennard.
yeah, Luke Kennard. He doesn't
From Duke.
Yeah, he doesn't start, but they're trying to give him some minutes.
He's a decent player. Luke Kennard's a decent player.
Yeah, it's just
Okay, player.
it's just their team's a mess.
The Heat missed
Charlotte,
the playoffs.
there's no reason
The
why
Heat-
Charlotte should
To
have.
clear that last thing up,
Yeah.
the Heat missed the playoffs last year, but they were tied with Chicago.
Yeah.
And Chicago got in.
Oh, Chicago got
Shout
it. Was
out
it a
to
them.
tiebreaker type of thing?
Yeah, they were the 8th seed.
Yeah, probably because Chicago beat Miami.
Yeah.
What you saying about Charlotte?
Charlotte. Oh yeah, there's no reason Charlotte shouldn't have made the playoffs this year. That's terrible. So, I mean, they did the
There's
right
a lot
thing.
of reasons.
Yeah,
A lot of reasons.
I mean, Dwight was averaging 15 and 14.
Okay.
How old is Dwight?
Let's not start this. Dwight about 32.
Let's not get into that.
When the man getting 30 and 30, when the man getting 30 and 30, and was like,
How old is dude?
He had the most rebounds by a Hornets player in a season.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
and then Kemba doing his thing. Kemba, the leading scorer in franchise history.
Man, they lucky Kemba hadn't left.
Yeah. Whose fault is that? That's the coach's fault.
Everybody's fault. I
And
told this.
Clifford just got
that team-
fired.
And then the boy Malik Monk, what he do this year?
They didn't play him.
Didn't they
didn't
just
use
fire
him.
Steve Clifford, David?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
got
he
fired.
He just got fired.
Yeah.
And then they cleaned out the whole front.
Front office.
Front office.
I mean, you got Michael Kidd-Gilchrist as your starting 3. That's one issue.
Yeah.
He can't score at all. He couldn't score on
I don't.
a trash can.
I don't understand.
He can't
this.
shoot.
It's just like Clifford just think it's still 2008. It's just like, you don't start a non-shooting small forward. That's small forward in today's NBA. Like, even Memphis put Tony Allen on the bench when they had him. And
Andre Roberson.
He can shoot a little bit.
Andre Roberson can
he
shoot
got,
a lick.
he got shooters around him though.
Andre Roberson
It's
is
just
the
like
worst shooter
Charlotte's
in the
one of the
history
worst.
of the NBA.
Charlotte's one of the worst three-point shooter teams in the league.
And MKG, like his shot, like he physically cannot shoot well enough to shoot from mid-range. He can't provide anything.
Speaking of, y'all want to talk about Lonzo
Speaking of that,
Ball a little
I'll
bit?
get to Lonzo Ball in just a second. But you know about the whole Charlotte deal. I feel like that everything going on in Charlotte, you know what, kind of serves them right because of what they did, because of the way they did Stephanie Reddy dirty. Because they had her as a sideline report, put her back on the broadcast booth, and maybe y'all make the playoffs next year. Because you should be making the freaking playoffs, as Rashad said, in the Eastern Conference. That's all I got to say about that.
She was supposed to be a top 10 black woman journalist. I forgot about her.
Oh, let me know.
China Robinson.
Without being biased, it's just, it goes back to coaching and the general manager. Like, general manager, you trot out, I mean, like, Dwight was a bad fit for that team. Like, I get the points and stats and stuff, but it's just like what you need with that team. They were trying to emulate Golden State, but you're playing a 2008 offense. And it's just like, that doesn't work. You got like, you don't have those shooters around him to be able to cover up for that. It's just like, it doesn't complement him. You got.
I mean, when he won in Orlando, that's all they had around him was shooters.
Yeah, just like, Marvin was the only above average shooter that they had that shoots threes at a high level. Besides that, like Kemba's a driver. Yep. Batum can't stay healthy. And MKG, you might as well throw the ball out of bounds before you pass it down. So, and it's like, and just kept playing, Jeremy Lamb over Malik Monk. Then you finally see, at the end of the year, like, he's actually good. I'm like, yeah.
Why did you draft him so high if you didn't think he was good? Of course.
Yeah, the coach is like, he likes playing older guys over young guys, especially because of defense. I'm like, I haven't seen the Hornet get all on the all defensive teams in 5 years that Clifford was head coach. So it's like, these guys are not playing that great defense, So it's just a mess. But I'm not a fan of the Mitch Kupchak hire, but I do like that he's cleaning that stuff up because, like, this Charlotte media is over there just like, we're not going to find anybody better. And I'm like, the dude only made the playoffs twice, and he couldn't even win a series. Like, even Brooklyn won a series with an ancient playoff team. So it's just like, it's not like you facing, the 90s Bulls, the Miami Heat, and the Cavaliers, and the Detroit Pistons of Rashad Chauncey and stuff in the playoffs. The only dominant team that was in the NBA when you was coaching in the East was Cleveland and Miami.
Yep. So
there's plenty of other teams you could have beat to win a series.
And they played neither at any point in time during the playoffs. The 2 times they made the playoffs, they never played either one of those teams.
Who do y'all want the Hawks to be the next coach? Fizdale or Mark Jackson?
We're not getting either one of those guys.
So. Mark Jackson, I don't know about that.
I would take Mark Jackson because he really is good at developing young talent.
Well, I mean, you talking about the whole Golden State connection.
Yeah.
I mean, Schlenk is trying to do Golden State in Atlanta.
That would make perfect sense.
But he was there when he fired him, though. That's the thing.
That's true.
But do you think Mark Jackson is going to be like, nah, I'm not interested in the job?
I mean, but it would make, because this is what Golden State did with Mark Jackson. They brought him in with a young group of unproven guys, and he coached them into being what they are. He just wasn't able to get them over the top. Steve Kerr came in. I hate to say that, but I really feel like Mark Jackson could have won with them if they had given him another year. I don't really feel like Steve Kerr. I don't think Steve Kerr has done anything.
The offense is a lot better because I remember a lot of ISOs, even ISO post-ups.
But that's what they're doing now. Like, they've literally turned back into an ISO team. That's why I don't think they're going to win the championship this year. Like,
I think they're just playing around. That's why I feel.
Well, they're going to get their feelings hurt if they. They
played around too much this season.
Yeah,
I think Golden State's gonna get hit in the mouth in the postseason.
I do too. I got. We didn't finish our playoff prediction, but I got the Rockets winning it all.
Thank you. There we go.
Because of what you just said, the Warriors, they're the best team.
Yo, that would be crazy if Joe Johnson get a ring.
Get
that money, Joe.
Get that money, Joe. Get that ring. But like, the Warriors have played around the entire year and not played their style of ball. The reason they were so good is because they were on a string when playoffs came the last few years. Mm-hmm. Not because they were just better and more talented. Because if you really think about it, the only player that's more physically talented than everybody in the NBA is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is the only player that's like, yeah, there's nothing we can do to stop this guy. Klay Thompson's good. Draymond Green's good. Steph is really good. But they ain't like, okay, if I got one-on-one, that guy gonna beat. And none of those guys are that guy. Kevin Durant is that guy. Steph is, but Steph's not healthy.
Right.
So until he's fully healthy,
he wasn't healthy like last playoffs.
No, he was healthy last year. The year they lost to the Cavaliers, he turned his ankle.
That was
right.
What was it? That was the year he was out for the first round.
Yeah, that was that. The last time they lost is when Steph Curry's hurt. When Steph Curry leaves, they turn into normal people again.
Right.
Kevin Durant is the only one capable of leading them to a championship, and Kevin Durant has proven he cannot do that by himself.
And it's kind of ironic that was the year where he was out that first round because there was so much that was going on about the 73-9 stuff.
Exactly. because they
wore themselves out so much because they were chasing the record.
Right, but this year they didn't start soon enough to try to get going.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just didn't care too much this year. Like they let too many games slide.
Yeah,
they don't take it seriously. I think that's why it's so tough to repeat.
There's no switch
you lose
in sports.
interest.
And
There's
that's
no
what I was
switch.
saying about Houston earlier, because they got players kind of like the 08 Celtics. They want it.
Yeah.
Golden State already got it. So if they get it, they're just padding their stats. But Houston got dudes on that team that want rings.
And who's gonna deal with Clint Capella? Who
that's
on the Warriors is gonna deal with Clint Capella?
I mean, there's some
Julia.
What he gonna do? Foul him to death?
He gonna
foul him to death?
kick him in the shin, bro.
That's
Sounds
good
like you
point.
know what to do.
that's true.
That's a good point. Hey, everything I just said, Zaza could be the one to change the whole series.
Oh man, if Zaza's the reason they win a championship, man, you think Hawks fans were salty back then?
He was the reason they won last year. He killed Kawhi Leonard.
Them boys was losing by 25 when Kawhi
Exactly.
He changed the whole
He
season.
changed the whole year.
Chris Paul and James Harden, watch your knees, man.
Watch your knees.
Watch your knees.
Hey, they gonna have somebody kidnap him before the game. You finna kill us?
Oh man.
But yeah, that's my upset of the season. The Rockets are going to beat the Warriors. I've been kind of hinting all year, and I still kind of just defaulted back to the Warriors. I'm fully on board with the Rockets beating the Warriors this year.
Yeah.
Rockets over Philly or Rockets over Cleveland?
Rockets over Cleveland.
Rockets over Philly.
Philly?
I'm just saying.
I mean, I think the Philly is going to get to the conference finals and lose to the Cavaliers. They've earned that, but they're not old enough or strong enough, or
Yeah, they don't have that. They don't have.
they're
that. I
not
was just
mature
saying,
enough to beat LeBron James for
Not yet.
That's not.
But
gonna happen.
if they get LeBron James in the offseason,
That's
if
not-
they
that's
get
not gonna
LeBron,
happen.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
That's not going to happen.
you think he's going back to Cleveland?
I'll say Houston.
Houston or Cleveland is the only two places he's probably even going to
I'm
consider.
not doing.
If he goes back to Cleveland, he's going to retire at the end of this next contract.
Why, I mean, going to Philly, where would he play?
that is a legitimate question.
I mean,
They're
that's-
three. I mean, they have Ben Simmons
Ben
is
Simmons
already
is a point guard.
He's already a point forward.
I mean, you're gonna have to start Fultz eventually.
Yeah, Fultz got to play
Fultz
eventually.
going to be at the 2.
You got a top 10 draft pick this year, which I have seen mocked as Colin Sexton. So somebody has to play
I
point.
saw Michael
Ooh.
Bridges.
Philly got a top 10 pick?
Yeah,
From who?
the Lakers.
The
trade.
Lakers.
Yeah, they won.
Who they trade?
They
Andrew
traded
Bynum?
Michael
Just
Carter
what
when
Philly-
they traded
just what
Michael,
Philly needs, more
they
draft
traded
picks.
Michael Carter Williams
To the Lakers?
It was like a 3-way trade. It was,
Oh, when they traded him to Milwaukee?
yeah, no, like when he got
Chicago?
traded to Milwaukee.
Yo, Michael Carter Williams is the absolute bust.
When he got traded to Milwaukee, and then Brandon Knight got traded to Phoenix, and it was just like a whole bunch of.
It was a lot of moving parts. but
Rookie
they-
of the Year is the most overrated award in the NBA.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Really?
It really is.
Malcolm Brogdon?
Exactly.
What the heck has he done this year?
They obviously
Michael
thought
Carter Williams.
They obviously thought he wasn't good enough to be a franchise type player because they went and traded Eric Bledsoe to get him to put him on the bench. So I mean, it is overrated. Some weird players have won it, but
Tyreek Evans is starting to come along, but he was hurt. Like right when he started coming along this year. And it's like 10th year.
Yeah, Tyreek was. They put him out. It was like, oh no, you starting to help us win.
starting to help us
Yeah.
win. Exactly.
Because Tyreek was in the conversation for All-Star in February.
Yeah.
I remember that.
He was nice. It was like, no, you winning too much.
Hey, shout out to Marshawn Brooks, man. This man's come back from nowhere. He had one of the prettiest games I've ever seen, and I don't know how he didn't survive in New Jersey.
Brooklyn. Oh, you talking about he's been with them since New Jersey?
He was.
Oh yeah, he had the little mini pro back then too.
Yeah, I think he bounced around a bit.
He bounced around and got hurt or something, but he has balled out the last couple of weeks of the season in Memphis, man. I didn't see that
He's in
coming.
Memphis now.
Yeah.
I thought he was still with Brooklyn.
He plays for Memphis. man.
Wow.
That shows you I don't watch Memphis. I know they were starting like I don't know if it was them or Dallas starting one of the Harrison twins.
Memphis, another
Yeah,
one of
Memphis-
those teams that
Memphis
doesn't get
is too.
national TV love.
Memphis getting anybody off the street.
Yeah.
I think I played a few games for Memphis this year.
Shout out to the Harrison twins, man. Shout out to the Harrison twins.
If they don't get a top 3 pick,
This is gonna be hilarious because they deserve it.
Yeah, because they're like, We got Michael Conley out. We got rid of him. Chandler Parsons on his vacation already. And you got Marc Gasol. He's here.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get this number 1 pick. Just like
At this point,
how much does it matter having the number 1 pick between? Because we talked about this a little bit in the group chat. Basically saying that having the number 1 pick, the number 4 pick, the number 3 pick, it seemed like a big deal during the tiebreakers, but I really don't care which pick we have because
it's not a big deal.
Honestly, the first pick means I get DeAndre Ayton. I don't want DeAndre Ayton. I like him. I think he's gonna be a superstar, but I don't want a big man. I'm not building my franchise around a big man because they get hurt.
It depends on if you actually have. It depends on if you actually have a front office that knows how to draft well. If you don't have a front office that knows how to draft well, you could pick 17th, as far as I'm concerned, and instead of 1. The fact that you just got to remember, 1 year of the draft, the same year that Kevin Durant was picked in the draft, second by the Seattle Supersonics. Who was the number 1 pick that year? Greg Oden to Portland.
That's what I'm afraid of is happening again with DeAndre Ayton versus Michael Porter versus Marvin Bagley versus Luka Doncic versus Trae Young. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys.
If the Hawks don't get the first 2 picks, I think I'd rather have the 7th pick, the 8th pick, to be honest, and get Trae Young or Colin Sexton, because I know Trae Young and Colin Sexton are going to be guaranteed hits in the NBA eventually. If it doesn't happen next year, it's going to happen 3 years down the line. I don't know, other than Bagley and Ayton at the top, has potential to be a superstar. Everything else after that is a crapshoot. Bridges and
Michael Porter Jr. is a superstar.
That's a gamble.
The whole thing is a catch-22.
That's
the same year Dwight Howard went first, Emeka Okafor was the second pick.
But so is Trae Young. Colin Sexton's more of a sure thing, but Trae Young's game is not going to fit in.
What I'm saying is you got to look at the one-and-done guys, the one-and-done big-time guys in college. Which one of those guys, the point guards, one and done, didn't pan out?
What do you mean?
One and done point guards, because you can think about the big time guys in college that didn't pan out, point guard like a Trey Burke or something like that.
Which ones have turned out? There haven't been many that have actually worked. The only one I can think of off the top of my head that has been great is John Wall.
Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose is not a great player to me. He was good for a couple years and he got hurt. That's not great.
He was
too many
good.
Injuries.
He was good.
MVP was good.
Give me more.
Okay.
You gave me two. Kyrie Irving.
Derrick Rose, Kyrie Irving, freaking anybody that Calipari's coach.
So Andrew Harrison's great.
No.
Okay.
Andrew Harrison wasn't a one and done.
Okay.
He stayed 2 years.
Let's see.
Brandon Knight wasn't great.
Brandon Knight's not great.
Well, I mean, you got a couple guys.
The guy they have this year isn't good. The one they had last year isn't good. De'Aaron Fox, the jury's still out on him, but he didn't look great last year. This year. Who?
You don't like Shea?
No.
You just say you like Shea.
I mean, he all right for it. He gonna be a role player. What I'm saying is, who's gonna be a star? Who's gonna be a superstar?
I'm trying to think of the one and done guards. I can't think of anyone.
Because there haven't been any good ones other than those three.
Kyrie.
We talked about Kyrie. We brought up Kyrie.
Yeah.
I mean, even
because all the one and done guys I know, like off top are
Dennis Smith has a chance.
Yeah, DS2.
He has a chance to be a star.
DS2.
But like you got guys like Damian Lillard that come in the league.
Yeah, he stayed.
He was in college for 3-4 years. Donovan Mitchell was in college 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Like,
and part of the reason for that is because they were fine-tuning their game so that they could get to the NBA.
These guys come in the NBA and they think they're going to be a point guard just because they're tall. Tall point guards aren't what is successful in the NBA. If you really look at the great point guards, they're 6'1", 6'2", 6'3". Steph, Kyrie,
that's
Chris
Colin
Paul,
Sexton and Trae Young.
Hey, well,
no, Trae Young's only right at 6'1".
Hey, well, let's think about.
And Trae Young is going to be easy to guard, I believe.
Let's think about this. There were some Hawks fans that were happy, were upset that Millsap was gone, and that Dwight was gone. And just to think, what this franchise would be if we kept Atlanta kept those, and you have like the 20th pick in the draft, and you got this false hope that maybe Schlenker hit it again.
They'd practically be in the same exact position.
Yes, I mean, I'm not a Hawks fan, but as a Hawk, if I was one, I think just the fact that you're gonna have a guaranteed top 7 pick.
Yeah,
so that goes a long way versus
I wasn't mad that Dwight was gone. I was mad about the lack of stuff they got back. And no, I'm saying. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm mad about what they got back for Dwight. They got like 1 second round pick back for him.
Yeah.
And Bellinelli and freaking Mason Plumlee. That's the best you can get for Dwight Howard. You can't get 1 first rounder.
Nope.
2 second rounders.
Nope.
Shut up. Man had 30-30. 30-30 game. First 30-30 game in 8 years.
When they have like against 6'7" center, like
And then that's not how the NBA's built no more. I mean,
Right.
I like Dwight
Guards.
and he's one of my favorite players.
Guard
but
play.
that's just not how you build that's not how you build teams anymore. So he's
Right.
not valued that highly anymore.
This ain't the 80s. This ain't the 90s. We need centers. We need big men.
Oh, last thing about the Hawks, though. I'm just happy we got a new opportunity as a Hawks fan. I'm just happy to have. I don't care who we draft. Like I said, I mean, I'm happy that they got the opportunity to get one of these guys. Because like you said, Rashad, it's all a crapshoot. But it's better than what we have had in the past. Like either one of these guys could be superstars. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But next year, they need to. You need to get the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick because based off what I've seen, it's not as good as this class. This is the good year to have the 3rd or 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th pick because you can get a star. But next year, you need to think a little harder. It matters next year.
Yeah, it's just definitely exciting. I mean, hopefully Atlanta fans are excited about it. I mean, I've seen mixed results and stuff about it. I still shudder at the idea that people wanted Millsap at small forward, Dwight at center, and Horford at power forward line for the
that
next
would've
couple
been
years.
crazy.
What we were just talking about last week, irrational fans.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We're just talking about irrational fans. We could do a whole show on irrational fans.
I just just hope that Hawks fans just realize, Schlenk is in it for the long haul.
Yes.
And it's just, you're not gonna stop LeBron anytime soon. So, it's just,
Well,
gotta embrace it.
Philly already took trust the process, so I feel like Atlanta needs to have its own version of trust the
Schlanking.
process.
Schlanking.
Schlanking, exactly. That's what it
I don't
is.
think the Hawks are going to take that long to rebuild because they already got the role players in place. They just need to start.
Prince he probably gonna average 25 next year.
Yeah.
I'll put that out there.
Potentially. Could potentially happen. Who knows? But that's a wrap for episode 73, I believe. Once again, another A-League show in the books. Let's go around and do our sign-offs. Do what we do.
This is David Norwood, Twitter at dnorwood90.
Rashad Milligan, you can follow me on Twitter at 2smooth.
This is Jeremy Johnson, Clark_Kent. You can follow me also at 901 Kelly Drive. Live.
Akeem Balaam, Twitter, Graham Beyond the W. Check it out. See ya.